standing firm, doesn't strike me as an idea guy necessarily. Not the guy that's going to come up with a solution for the Middle East. He's the guy that when you get a good idea, he understands it. But then when he explains it to the nation, you're going, no, that's not what it was. That's not. Let's face it, the Middle East can't be solved. Nobody gets the Palestinians, despite what they keep trying to tell us. They go, you don't get us. You don't get us. We don't care. We think it's like a talk show where everybody wants hugging and forgiveness and closure at the end. No, all over the Arab world, they teach the kids Israel's the devil, must be destroyed. Who's the guy that has the balls to come back from negotiations, sit down at the Hamas meeting and go, listen, the downside, we'll betray the blood of our ancestors and Allah and lose our eternal souls. The upside, I saw a nice two-bedroom in the Golan Heights. Oh boy! Sharon is in a lose-lose situation. He has pressures from every side. Stephen, what do you think Sharon will do?
I think he's going to give up some land in the West Bank. But I don't think that's really going to solve the problem, because it doesn't change the fact that the West Bank and the Gaza Strip are still separated by this thing called the State of Israel. So to contain the Palestinians, they're going to have to build some sort of giant plexiglass tubes from the Gaza Strip, like a human habit trail between the two. And then it'll be good for the Israeli school children, because they can go, look, Palestinians. Let's feed them pellets.
How's John, by the way?
How's what?
You happy over there?
How's John?
How are you happy over at the other shop?
He's tiny. Yeah.
Oh, I said hello.
Hello.
One thing about the Middle East, I'm really tired of hearing about it. And the Palestinians have got to stop this awful philosophy they're taking of not recognizing Israel as a state. If not recognizing or acknowledging something made it go away, every girl I've ever slept with would have disappeared 5 minutes after we were finished.
I don't think they're never going to solve that at all, because first of all, I mean, the Israelis, they do need their own homeland that's not under terrorist attack, so that American Jews could send their kids there to get more Jewy. But we do need that, and that's a problem. But the Palestinians, they don't want the West Bank back in a Palestinian state, and the Arabs more broadly, they're not going to be happy until they have the complete destruction of Israel. Right. They believe it's God's will that they'll control the entire region and all the world's oil and the American taxi cab industry, and they got 2 out of the 3.
Yeah. Well, what do you think about, is there a solution to this, anybody?
I think it's pretty good that they're out there trying to do something, but I agree with Greg in the sense that it really won't work, because neither side, I believe, is really stemming from that point of trying to really get to a point of peace. I mean, these guys, they hate each other. At least that's what I'm getting from the news. I'm sorry.
I don't know about that. I mean, some of the people are very reasonable.
Some of them are very reasonable.
I don't know if you've ever explained to a right-wing Zionist about how Palestinian, because the veins on their forehead do this fabulous little dance.
There's the roadmap, which roadmap just seems like such a sort of a trivial approach to the world's most intractable problem, doesn't it? There's a roadmap, which is a weird word anyway, since the Palestinians are barely allowed to drive on any roads, and the Jews, after all, are most famous for being lost in the desert for 40 years. So, not a lot of map reading.
And who's coming up with this roadmap? George W. Bush, is he going to be the one to come up with this master plan that's going to come out and be so perfect?
Yeah, no. I mean, nobody can solve this. It's depressing because it just shows you that nothing in the world ever gets solved. It's not just this. Northern Ireland couldn't even get solved, and all the people, there's not even that conflict. It's all they're just Catholic and Protestant. They all look exactly like me. I know, girls. When do you get tickets? Don't worry. I'm also saying, look, ultimately, the only move would be, which nobody wants to talk about, if the United States gave up Israel, it would be solved. Now, nobody wants to talk about that.
It wouldn't be solved.
Of course it would be solved. I didn't support them.
Yeah, you're right.
You like that idea, don't you, Stephen? Look at him. He's like,
I can't say so on television.
we could just insist that all the Jews move to the Upper West Side of Manhattan. It's like where 80% of them are anyway. Is that's a strategy?
If George Bush can solve it, I'll vote for him. I'll say that. He would be Superman if he could solve it.
Yeah.
Well, he's not going to solve it.
They tricked Clinton See, they bring over every president just to act like they're going to solve it, and then it never gets solved.
No one's going to solve it. The whole area has like the stability of Jake LaMotta's marriage. They hate each other. It's not even if the Jews weren't there. What, Iran and Iraq are going to get along. They hate each other. So the whole area sucks.
There's no. Yeah.
Guys, I'm tired of hearing about it.
The whole world is like that. There's always going to be fights everywhere.
Does anyone know anything about Mahmoud Abbas, the new Palestinian leader?
I know he's in deep trouble. I'm just saying, this is not one of those things that's going to get solved. You know what I mean? There's too much bitter blood. Look, even Northern Ireland. Northern Ireland was an easy situation. We threw a lot of money in there. Everybody almost looks the same. They still hate each other. They're still going to bomb each other. And over there, you got the IRA, the one group that's not terrorists that are actually freedom fighters, and that pisses me off. Go ahead, Stephen. You want one more?
No, I was to say, as an Irish person, do you hate the British?
No.
Did any part of you dislike the British? I know, but I'm an Irish, and I was raised in America, but just deep down, I think they're bastards.
The British?
Yeah, deep down, I think they're just bastards. You know, my family got kicked off their land 300 years ago in Tyrone, which is my middle name, and we got sent west of the River Shannon to try to farm rock, and then sent over on a boat on the Noble Dundee, and my great-great-great-uncle Michael died on the passage over, and he was 11, so those bastards.
That was really beautiful. It was almost like a mini-series about Ireland. I like that.
Thank you. That was really funny about his uncle.
My family was thrown out actually in 1921 from the north.
Oh,
my
really?
grandfather was arrested for, I think, goat sodomy. I don't know what it was, but it threw us out. But we're going to come back. Yeah, so it was still a British fault.
British goat.
Yeah. Listen, the Surgeon General has determined it's not healthy to leave me alone with these people. So we'll be right back. Makers of TiVo will be selling detailed information about its users to advertisers and programmers. Let's face it, there is no privacy to begin with. That's why everybody rips their clothes off on TV all the time. It doesn't matter if the telemarketer from Johnson & Johnson Baby Oil knows that you're possibly a big consumer, even though you don't have children, but you TiVo queer as folk, and the only two names on your wish list are Jason Gedrick and Margaret Cho. All right, what's the big deal, Greer?
Well, I'll tell you, Colin, I don't personally think that they should have that sort of access because of the simple fact you don't want people knowing that you may like certain things. Suppose I want to run for a position and they find out that I like watching chocolate asses. Big chocolate asses. 2.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
That was much better than
and
one.
And the third one's in production as we speak. My point is this.
No promos, please.
Okay.
But I think it's good, to be honest with you. I get tired of hearing about how Big Brother's going to invade. Let them finally gear advertising toward me so I don't have to be attacked with douche and tampon commercials every 5 minutes.
Good.
But, you know, I think that the problem people have with it is not that the information's out there, but that, like, the TiVo company is selling this stuff and making money, you know, and they're not giving us any break on it. You know, it's like, if you want to make money off this information, throw us a bone. You know I watch a lot of porn. Send me a hooker every once in a while.
One of the problems, I think, is they said now that this is going to start to cost them money because the advertisers are going to start to ask for discounts because they're going to find out that people are zipping through their commercials and not watching this, and they're not going to want to spend
They know that already, yeah.
Well, that's the advertiser's problem. Stop making these little fairy, unfunny, cutesy commercials. Make something that's interesting and people will watch it. Like, you want to sell diet products, show like a bunch of kids throwing rocks at a fat person walking out of McDonald's.
You missed your calling. You're going to be an advertising big. Now, Greer, you spent a lot of time on the continent, as we used to say in the 1850s. Right. What's it like over there with TV? Like England, they pay for the taxes for TV, right?
Yeah, they do. I mean, England was cool. Television's good. They show breasts, which is cool.
Yeah.
I'm serious. It's like, I mean, what's the deal? Like, I mean, we see all this other stuff. We got these video games where kids are blowing up aliens and stuff. What's wrong with a pair of breasts?
You're right. Now, let me show you something shocking. First of all, Jim, earlier you made a very good point, but I've noticed a thing about you now since we were on the show many times together. Whenever you try to be intelligent, you go, well, I think that, and you put your finger here under your... It's really, you're right, I do that. Not only is it phony, it's irritating.
It's so topic.
Yeah, it is a topic.
I was, hey.
Yes.
There wasn't
the time when it occurred to me.
Jim really thinks he's...
The good people of Procter & Gamble really
It's almost like he's distracted. Oh, I've been up all night working on my thesis and... Okay, look.